I'm the life of the party. I'ma pay the bill, not chunk of the Azzy. My new bitch wavy, I call it Diani. And I pull up with the drip like I work for the Sunny. Hey, every day I'm making more juice. I've been doing me, you should try to do you. I'ma get her wet as a pool. Bust down Tatiana like you dropped out of school. I got enough sauce for two. When I told her, tell a friend I met, tell her she cute. I'ma pull up with the juice and it ain't coming to fruit. I got a meeting with your boss and I ain't coming to suit. I'ma pull up with my G's like, give me the loot. Name another bottom on this. You can find me with the woo-woo. You was cool when you turned
You're
into
now
a
listening to the best music.
I got a red phone that I love phone. Soon as I get home, I'm in the pussy like Sue. Gang, you know what to do. I'ma make her call me back for it. Niggas ran up in my crib for the clout, yeah, they whack for it. Radio got a nigga missing rap more. I can't miss when I shoot it off the backboard. Young Koozie, got a couple groupies. Any Tatiana's down to make a movie. I like my women bad and bougie. She wants some maki, the other one sushi. How could I make this up? Shorty got cake, but a nigga baked this up. Couple niggas that I know wanna run up on them. I told them chill, my nigga, let's start up on them. More checks, more flex. Niggas really walk around the city with a fake Rolex. Fake Gucci, that ain't Gucci. Balenciagas, that's ain't Gucci? Huh? I ain't hating, I'm just choosy. They want beef, I want a boozy. I'm the motherfucking go, nigga. More juice, cocoa things, more juice to let we do the most, niggas. I'm the motherfucking gang. Bust down, Tatiana.
Hey.
Yeah, I wanna see you bust down. Hey. Come on. Hey. Small just the motherfucking label, man, till I'm 10 feet under.
Come on.
Stay 10 toes down. Top 10, top 5, top.
Come on.
Top.
Hey.
On the game.
It's Friday. Great time to get live.
Or just the label, man.
Come
So
on.
nigga. More juice, cocoa things, more juice, the label.
Welcome to Let's Talk with Airtown. Amazing conversation over here.
Yeah, I wanna see you bust down. Hey. Come on. Hey. Small just the motherfucking label, man. Till I'm 10 feet under. Stay 10 toes down. Top 10, top 5, top.
I need a rewind to
I get
that.
home, I'm in the pussy like Sue. Gang, you know what to do. I'ma make her call me back for it. Niggas ran up in my crib for the clout, yeah, they whack for it. Radio got a nigga missing rap more. I can't miss when I shoot it off the backboard. Young Koozie, got a couple groupies. Any Tatiana's down to make a movie. I like my women bad and bougie. She wants some maki, the other one sushi. How could I make this up? Shorty got cake, but a nigga baked this up. Couple niggas that I know wanna run up on them. I told them chill, my nigga, let's start up on them. More checks, more flex. Niggas really walk around the city with a fake Rolex. Fake Gucci, that ain't Gucci. Balenciagas, that's ain't Gucci? Huh? I ain't hating, I'm just choosy. They want beef, I want a boozy. I'm the motherfucking go, nigga.
Come on.
More juice, cocoa things, more juice to let we do the most, niggas. I'm the motherfucking gang. Bust down, Tatiana.
Hey.
Yeah, I wanna see you bust down. Hey. Come on. Hey. Small just the motherfucking label, man, till I'm 10 feet under. Stay 10 toes down.
Come on. I'll be bursting down this weekend.
Top. I'm talking all of that.
As you're bursting down, come to work early, okay?
Oh, just the label, man.
Always a great time to be alive on the Blackwood Radio Network. Come on.
Son of the boy, man. You know what I mean? Gang.
Come on.
This year we ain't playing no.
Gang.
I say that every year, man, but this year we really not playing no.
Come on.
Bust down, Tatiana, bust down.
It's your girl, Airton Longoria, and host talk with Airta, the one and only Barak Jacuzzi over there with Tatiana. You can download our app on the Google Play Store, stream on www.blackwoodfireradionetwork.com for amazing healthy supplements. Our clothing with a Blackwood Fire Radio logo on it. Get your ashwagandha, get your Seymour's. I'm taking mine religiously. It's so funny, I always put it in my bag everywhere that I go. Like, if I'm going to my friend's place, it has to be in my bag. I'm just so used to it. I have my routine. I always have my Seymour's in my bag. That's how I am. It's like an African American with a hot sauce in their bag. But you can download our app on the Google Play Store. Get your ashwagandha, get your multivitamin, get your beetroot. Also, we do have a clothing section side or section of it. Get your t-shirt, hoodies, mags, bags with the Blackwood Fire Radio logo on it. Always a great time to be alive. Hashtag always talking about redefining Africa as we redefine ourselves. Hashtag the year of the firehouse. How's the new year if you're following the Chinese calendar? I was with my girls yesterday, and one said actually they're following the Chinese calendar as they're like an ox. There are different animals to it to actually define your personality, like the zodiac sign. If you're a rat, actually the rat is a protagonist to the year of the fire horse, which is 2026. There is a pig, there is a tiger, there is a snake. It's just very beautiful to learn more about that because you'll understand how you're getting aligned this year. Before we move forward, we'll talk more about what is carbon storage. I know it's been a minute since we've talked about that, but I'll talk more about that. And hopefully we'll definitely have a guest, not today, to actually expound more on that later, hopefully next week. Also, we'll have a conversation about Black communities are being destroyed from the inside. And we'll have a little bit of the one and only Dr. Umar giving us some pointers on that. And also carbon credit, which is like not something. What's carbon credit? I've talked more about this. It's nothing like that. It's a way to actually steal land in Africa. This has happened in the northern eastern side of Kenya. A lot of people actually do not understand what that is, and that's actually the main agenda because they're actually going to those side of Africa, or basically Kenya. Let me talk about Kenya because I know this is happening in Kenya because they're not more educated about asking questions like what is carbon storage, what word is that. They'll just agree, and most of them, because land is really, really important to them, they're being pushed to other parts of their location, and it becomes a cycle where they're not even like settling down in their own land, and they're being threatened. And they're like, what is carbon storage? Even if you're taught anything like that, it actually doesn't make sense because it's just another bougie way to actually take and steal away from our land here in Africa. But before that, I'll actually share some of the supplements we do have for you on our website, so you can actually get familiar with what we actually do have for you guys.
Beetroot, nature's powerhouse, packed with vitamins, antioxidants, and nitrates, it's known to support heart health, boost stamina, and improve blood circulation. Our beetroot is naturally grown and harvested at peak ripeness. The roots are cleaned, dried, and finely ground to preserve their rich nutrition content, giving you all the benefits in one pure form. Add 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder to your juice, smoothie, or water, or take it in capsule form as recommended by your healthcare provider. Beetroot helps enhance endurance, lower blood pressure, and keep you feeling energized and balanced all day. Fuel your body with the natural power of beetroot. Stay strong, stay healthy. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
And 90 cents, you'll definitely get your beetroot for only $20.90. We had a beetroot over here with Christine in the office this beautiful morning, so we're staying healthy as possible. So I hope you all are actually eating healthy, drinking healthy. If you cannot do all that, we got the supplements for you to actually keep you in momentum. But the conversation about today is what is carbon storage. And this is according to Google. I do not believe anything like this because it doesn't make sense. Carbon emitting from a lot of these tech companies, a lot of them like Meta, they're actually talking about carbon storage to make it look like it's a really, really important thing. And the way they actually trying to compensate for it is like they're actually buying land in fertile parts of the world to actually compensate for their carbon storage, which doesn't make sense. It's just a way of taking land. Honestly, how do you store carbon? How do you compensate that with by taking land in other parts of the world, which is actually not your land 100%. And the key, most important conversation here, they're actually stealing land in the areas where people are not really educated about the importance of land, or basically where they will not ask questions or basically try to fight back. And I'll put up a video more on that. But according to Google, which I do not believe this 100%, this is what they say when you try to actually take a listen or take a look at what carbon storage is. So they're saying is the process of capturing and securing atmospheric carbon dioxide to mitigate climate change, divided into natural brackets, biological and geological methods. Key techniques include storing CO2 in deep underground, selling aquifers, depleted oil gas fields, or through nature-based solutions like forests, soil, and marine, in brackets, seagrass, mangrove absorption, which doesn't make sense. Key aspect of carbon storage. So they say two of them, and then we get into the video. Geological storage, involving capturing CO2 from industrial sources. I've mentioned right now, like Meta is actually playing a big factor, or literally trying to compensate carbon storage, mostly here in Africa, in the way they are emitting carbon in their part of their land. Industrial sources compressing it and injecting it into rock formation, often sealed by cap rock. Also, biological or natural storage. So saying by ecosystems such as forests, soils, and oceans act as sinks that absorb and hold carbon through photosynthesis. We definitely understand what that is. We all learn what photosynthesis is. Seagrasses and mangroves are particularly effective storing carbon in their biomass and soil. And lastly is methods of technologies. Common methods include enhanced oil recovery, EOR, where CO2 is injected to extract more oil, and storing in amiable coal seams. If you can understand, as I've said, according to Google, they're saying carbon storage is the process of capturing and securing atmospheric carbon dioxide, CO2, to mitigate climate change, divided into natural and geological methods. So I want to play this video to actually give you a little snippet of what they're trying to actually confuse you on, how they're trying to store carbon in the most fertile land of all time here in Africa, most importantly in Kenya, in the northern eastern part of Kenya, which doesn't make sense, guys, because they're just taking your land as you actually watch them. This is what is happening.
Rangelands, dry, dusty, and incredibly vast. For centuries, nomadic herders have migrated seasonally here in search of fresh pastures. But today, the land has become ground zero in the scramble for a new and lucrative natural resource, one that is tearing communities apart. Carbon offsets have become big.
And also the KWS, which is definitely controlled by the government, it's playing a big part in it, and that's the NRT, the Northern Rangelands Trust, which is actually a big company that takes care of the wildlife in these parts of Kenya. Obviously, they're going to try and educate these people and offer them some amount of money to move to other parts of the land. And then the next time it becomes a cycle, and the next time you ask, they're actually not going to care, because you know what? You don't really matter. This is about me actually pocketing this money. I don't care if you understand what carbon storage is. This is actually them actually saying this, because by the end of the day, what are you going to say about it? You know, at the end of the day, the people who are actually in this position, it's all about money for them. It's all monetary. That's that they don't really care if you understand what carbon storage is, because at the end of the day, it's them playing a big collaboration with this individual to actually sell our lands away.
This year, Western tech companies like Netflix and Meta have invested millions in a project aimed at sucking CO2 from the atmosphere by controlling where and when livestock can graze. Now, fences and weapons are proliferating across this fragile landscape.
You can be kidnapped or even killed.
Why is this green solution being met with so much opposition? And why are Kenya's carbon dealers so keen on keeping journalists and researchers away?
Absolutely.
I'm county criminal investigation officer. I'm in charge of investigations. Somebody has raised a complaint. You might expose some confidential matters of site.
But why are Netflix and Meta investing here in the first place? Because they emit a lot of CO2, and they want to make up for that far, far away from their headquarters by buying carbon offsets all around the world.
The thing that really gets me, they want to make up for that. You cannot make up for it by even actually buying whatever land in whatever parts of the world. It doesn't really make sense.
Here in Kenya,
that's the thing. It doesn't make sense, even though it sounds so scientific and very, luxurious. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense. All you're all doing is actually stealing people's land.
The Northern Kenya Rangelands Carbon Project says it's the largest of its kind on the planet, covering an area the size of New Jersey or Slovenia. The scheme claims to remove CO2 from the atmosphere and bind it to the soil through a system known as planned rotational grazing. The idea is that keeping livestock off of certain swaths of pasture will allow grass to grow and store more carbon from the atmosphere. It's meant to reduce overgrazing and give grasslands time to recover. The project promises to sequester the equivalent annual carbon output of 10 million cars in its first 3 decades, and was launched in 2012 by the Northern Rangelands Trust, or NRT. Co-founded by the descendant of an old colonial ranching family, the organization has been consolidating indigenous land into conservancies for more than 20 years. It's a form of land use that combines indigenous land into conservancies for more than 20 years. It's a form of land use that combines tourism, livestock production, and wildlife conservation. 14 of these conservancies are taking part in the Carbon Project under the NRT's banner. The offsets produced by managing these livestock migrations have been sold the world over. Netflix and Meta alone had purchased more than 250,000 tons of the project's carbon offsets by 2022. Rangelands coordinators like Francis Bahati are crucial to the cash flow. They oversee how many animals are allowed onto a given plot of community land over the course of a grazing season, and make reports to calculate the amount of CO2 this helps absorb.
We are participating in Northern Rangeland Carbon Project as a conservancy, and the type of carbon, we call it soil carbon. By using rotational or grazing, that coordinated grazing, that grass also stored CO2 from the atmosphere, and it's also a source of revenue for the community.
That revenue goes to paying the salaries of conservancy staff like Francis, as well as helping to fund community projects like wells and schools. The NRT and coordinators like Francis insist the process is participatory and transparent.
And looking back, the founder of this NRT, this was a colonial individual, so it actually tells you what you're actually thinking about right now.
Board of directors, and they are elected by the community. We go to them and tell this is the time.
Story about the Norris family.
And now we start to think about grazing planning. Where do you want us to take our livestock? They discuss and agree, and they give us a list. So the Conservancy now supports. We are not restricting livestock. We try to support the elders to do traditional grazing, but in a modern way or in a way that is sustainable for them.
So theoretically, big companies in the global north get to take their emissions off their books, and local people in the global south benefit from the money invested. Community control with no coerced restrictions on nomads' movements. Sounds pretty great.
Absolutely, but that guy who was talking, I believe, is definitely a part of it, because obviously he's being paid to, and he's being taught about this carbon storage thing that does not really make sense.
But the reality on the ground is not so simple. Lamako Charo has been traveling for 2 days with his camels across the wilderness. He says grazing boundaries imposed by the Carbon Project's implementers have forced him to come north in search of pasture.
He's saying the grass is just there and our cows are here. Yet our cattle die of drought. And the grass is just there beyond the fence because they're being moved to another part of the land that is not actually fatter.
We wanted to see these fences for ourselves, so the next day, our team sets off for Serra Conservancy. where herders tell us a well-fortified barrier is blocking pastoralists from the pasture that their animals crave. We are blocked by the same rangers that the herders warned us about. Though they're not employed by any government security service, they do carry weapons. They question our team and invite us to tour their conservancy headquarters, but tell us that we are not allowed to go any further. So we hike along their perimeter to a distant hilltop instead, looking for a place to launch our drone. It reveals exactly what the herders spoke of, a long metal fence stretching for miles across the expansive wilderness. We asked the NRT. They said this fence is an anti-poaching measure aimed at rhino conservation, but maps we filmed inside the Conservancy's offices show that land within the fence is included in the Carbon Project's grazing blocks. And analysis of satellite imaging shows that vegetation inside the fence line is indeed greener and more lush than the comparatively parched landscape without. This imaging technique is called the Normalized Vegetative Difference Index. In 2023, the same tool revealed that much of the Carbon Project's self-reported CO2 reductions were not matching up with the vegetation changes on the ground. Concerns like these led to Verra, the world's largest verifier of voluntary carbon offsets, suspending its certification of the project's credits. The certification was later reissued, but not before an 8-month investigation probed issues of methodological shortcomings and raised serious legal questions. In order to be considered valid for commercial use, Verra requires land-based carbon offset projects to obtain the free, prior, and informed consent of residents. The NRT says they held meetings with community members to explain their plans, like those shown in these promotional videos, and posted brochures on notice boards. But residents that we spoke to complained that low literacy rates, high
As I said earlier,
mobility, and limited access to mass media among nomads rendered many of these efforts moot.
For others to understand carbon credits, photosynthesis, all that story is not easy for them. Right. But we are trying to
and
make
that's why they chose this part of the country, like 100%.
it simple in a local language they can understand.
Many herders we interviewed did not know that carbon offsets were being generated on their land. Those who did said they only heard about the project 9 years after it had already begun, when proceeds started being generated for the conservancies. Verra's 2023 review of the project found insufficient evidence of how the project was communicated to communities. So, if indigenous residents were not asked for their permission to extract and market carbon offsets, whose consent was given? The Northern Rangelands Trust says their authority to sell carbon credits comes from the conservancies themselves,
Carbon credit.
entities that they helped establish across millions of acres of indigenous lands. But an ongoing lawsuit disputes this, citing Kenya's Community Lands Act and alleging that the NRT's establishment of conservancies on this land was unconstitutional.
I want to read the meaning, according to Google, of carbon credits. And this is Google, just an overview. They're saying carbon credits are tradable, market-based certificates representing the reduction or removal of 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide or its equivalent from the atmosphere. They act as climate action, allowing companies to offset emissions by supporting projects like reforestation, renewable energy, or methane capture. Again, carbon credits are tradable, market-based certificates representing the reduction or removal of 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide or its equivalent from the atmosphere. They act as a financial incentive for climate action, allowing companies to offset emissions by supporting projects like reforestation, renewable energy, or methane capture. And we do have like 2 key aspects of carbon credits and how they work. So companies or nations that emit less than their allowed limit can sell excess credits to those exceeding their limit. Does that really make sense? And also types of projects: avoidance or reduction, prevents new emissions such as building wind farms or distributing clean cook stoves, and also removal sequestration, extracts existing CO2 from the air, such as planting trees or direct air capture. Just plant trees everywhere and stop all this thing of carbon storage, because doesn't really make sense to me.
Most of these purported agreements were not subjected to public participation.
Human rights lawyer Innocent Makaka has spent years as an advocate at Kenya's High Court. He is lead counsel on the case. His clients allege that the conservancies NRT is using to produce the carbon offsets were established without consent.
We can call them private entities that have come to community land, and they have established conservancies and other activities in the community land at the expense of the community. But we've not seen anything filed that indicated that indeed these community members, our clients, were involved. Yet these conservancies are established in their community, limiting their land use one way or another. And that's why we even went to court, because it's our opinion that there is no legal basis.
We approached the NRT about the case, but they declined to comment. While the legality of the conservancies is being debated,
because they choose the most part of the country that is high rate of illiteracy, so no one can question or even understand what's really going on.
in court, the control they exert over the landscapes where they have been established through force of arms.
After this, we'll take a look at some of the people who were forced out of their land because of this carbon storage conversation.
Is very much a reality. Solomon Limpatu does not know what a carbon credit is. He tells us he's never heard of them. But he says his father was shot dead for grazing the family's animals.
And that's your land, like you're 100%.
In the wrong place, and that he watched it happen.
Did you know that it was wrong to take the cattle there? I went knowing nothing about the area being off limits and took the cattle inside. For me, I thought as long as I remain with the cattle, it'll be all right because I was still young. So when my father came, he found the cattle there. As he was running, taking them out of the unwanted side of the boundary, they arrived, and for even asking why he took them in, he was simply shot. And that's how my father died.
His mother, No Kilelu, has had to grapple with
according to the individual
consequences ever since.
Imagine there's grass there, but they wouldn't allow the cattle to eat it. Wouldn't it be nice if there's grass? 100%. Cattle are allowed to graze.
For this family, armed enforcement of the NRT's grazing regime has changed their lives forever. Allegations of lethal force against herders is nothing new. Human rights organizations and researchers have documented dozens of extrajudicial killings.
And this is the Northern Rangeland Trust, which was actually founded by a colonial individual back in the time.
Pastoralists and conservation
So it actually tells you a lot.
Areas throughout Kenya's north, including on territory managed by the NRT.
Many people have been killed because you are arming people without the regulation of government. These armed rangers, for example, prevent community members from grazing in certain areas. And we have people who have to, leave their cultural sites, their graves, their cultural practices, and have to move to other areas. So this brings human rights issues.
Absolutely.
We want to understand how the rangers do their job firsthand.
And actually, Joshua Maponga talks about identity with the land. It says if you do not have a land as an African, you do not have an identity. That's like 100%. And as this advocate has actually mentioned right now, these guys are being forced out of their cultural lands. Literally, this is their land. They own it. But because of NRT and this collaboration with the likes of Meta, because they're actually emitting carbon and they're storing it in this fertile land of the country, doesn't add up. It's not right. And I've seen people, as you continue to watch this video, actually protesting and actually moving forward, saying this is wrong. The ones who are actually understanding the main conversation about all this shenanigan of carbon offsets. You know, they are protesting and they are basically saying they want their land back.
And are invited by the staff and elders of Malacca Conservancy to visit their ranger station and meet with the people tasked with enforcing grazing rules. But as we head to the filming location, our team learns that the NRT's appointed managers have other ideas.
They're saying, the NRT is saying, we've been given regulation, we can't allow you to come and take pictures. So the chairman does not have any authority to allow you to come and take pictures.
So, chairman, I authority? Yes.
If a visitor comes to my office,
yes,
I must be given
an email from the NRT. And you know, the NRT is the one working with this other company to actually, manifest all these carbon storage and offsets.
from NRT.
from NRT. So, thank you very much. Yeah.
So imagine that. They're saying that the Conservancy is community controlled,
Yes.
that the board of the Conservancy, the Council of Elders are elected,
Yeah.
that they are the ones in charge of this place and in charge of the rangelands management. We have direct permission
Yeah.
from Zedo Kole, who is the chairman of the board. He's the one who supposedly has the authority from the community to govern the affairs of the Conservancy. And although he's encouraging us to go and document this, we're being told by the NRT that the NRT needs to grant permission before any photos can be taken, before any access can be given.
Yeah.
This is a contradiction. So, I'm wondering, what do they have to hide?
Oh, yeah.
What do they have to hide?
Yeah.
Minutes later, we get another call.
Who is this? DCI.
The DCI are calling the journalists and the reporters who have gone to actually, do their research about what is really happening, and also the conversation about how big tech's carbon offsets are threatening Kenyans.
Department of Criminal Investigations?
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, I'm the sub-county criminal investigation officer. I'm in charge of investigations.
Yes.
Yes, somebody has raised a complaint.
Tell me.
The manager of the conservancy is complaining. Are you from Luchville?
Yes, sir.
Okay, he's saying you might expose some confidential matters outside.
Is that right? So we received a call from the Director of Criminal Investigations. This is despite the fact that we've come at the invitation of the chairman of the Board of Elders. This tells me that what we've been told about who is in charge of this land and the management of its rangelands is not matching up with what we're experiencing on the ground.
With the NRT's appointed Conservancy staff unwilling to speak with us, we decide to talk with the community's elected elders instead. Wilfred Longley was chair of Malacca Conservancy's board from 2013 to 2016, when the Carbon Project began. He and current board member Singida Lekuton want to show us what has become of one of the Conservancy's projects since Wilfred's tenure. This was once a luxury destination for international tourists, keen for an African safari experience. Though this construction predates the arrival of Carbon Project funds, at least 6 similar lodges have been built or renovated using carbon credit proceeds, including one that overlooks the grazing boundary where Solomon saw his father shot. Today, this lodge in Malacca is a burnt-out husk, consumed by a mysterious fire in 2022.
Mysterious fire.
Just as we are setting up to receive his testimony, Wilfred's phone rings.
With a phone call from, I believe, one of maybe it's the DCIs or NRT telling this individual to not allow those reporters to come there. If they come there, tell them to actually leave that place immediately. Tell them to leave the place immediately.
And
then this individual is saying, I'm the one who brought them there. Why should I tell them to leave?
Sasa unasikia vile ana threaten mimi. He's threatening me.
Threatening you for what?
Walisema kwa nini unapeleka wanapeleka wageni huko na hakuna barua ya kutoka NRT.
After the phone call, Wilfred insists the fire was an accident. Rangers from a nearby camp quickly appear, and we are told to stop our filming.
You asking me who told you to take them here? I don't know how. And then I told him, how did you know that we are here?
Yeah.
By the time we return to the nearby settlement of Marile, night has fallen.
Local youth tell us that someone has been by to record the color and license plate number of our team's vehicle. One of the youngsters passes us a handwritten note before disappearing back into the crowd. The banda's burning, they say, was no accident. One by one, under cover of darkness, they come forward to speak.
Wow.
That lodge was burnt on purpose. It was no accident. They were burnt by human hands. I am asking those contributors who are giving money for this carbon not to send any money here again. Our leaders are misusing that money. Our fathers, mothers, elders, our illiterate people. Nobody knows about carbon.
Absolutely.
They've heard about carbon, but they don't know what that is. I want you to change my voice and hide my face, so our leaders will not know who I am. They can look after you. They might take you into court, or even you can be kidnapped, or even killed.
Back in Nairobi, Innocence 165 plaintiffs allege that the only written agreement the NRT has shown between themselves and the conservancies they helped establish was concluded nearly a decade after carbon credits were already being produced and sold. Abdirahman Osman Dida is one of the plaintiffs. Today, he's traveled over 500 kilometers from his home in the arid northern rangelands to the capital, Nairobi. Together with dozens of other residents of NRT conservancies, he wants to personally deliver a petition to Kenya's parliament, demanding that their rights as the constitutionally recognized owners of community lands be upheld. Their demands find sympathetic ears, especially among lawmakers representing pastoralist areas.
NRT trained to behave as if they are the communities, which they are not the communities. The communities are the landowners, the camel owners. These are the owners of the land. The communities are not getting benefit from this one. They are being ripped, they are being cheated.
Tubi and others from the pastoralist parliamentary group point to a lack of transparency and participatory decision-making in the way that carbon offsets are generated and sold.
That is theft because if you don't inform the communities and the communities are not aware of what we are doing, then that is stealing. I am talking to Netflix and even Facebook. Some of these guys, please stop being used by people who are thieves. Those guys are not the genuine ones. They are con people. Let them not be used to rip the community of their property.
With all of this strife and popular dissent around the carbon project, it's easy to lose sight of how it is benefiting community members. After all, sales of the offsets have brought in a lot of money, some of which has gone to fund scholarships, water points, and tourist infrastructure. The numbers are opaque. The NRT has never published audited annual sales accounts. But here's what we do know. The project claims it can generate hundreds of millions of dollars in revenues over the course of 30 years. Market rate estimates suggest that somewhere between 19 and 43 million euros worth of dollars in revenue.
The Northern Kenya Rangelands Carbon Project, NKRCP, is the world's largest soil carbon removal project and proof of concept for rangelands restoration and community-based development through the carbon market. It is anticipated to remove 50 million tons of CO2 over 30 years, the equivalent of the annual emission from over 10 million cars, and generate hundreds of millions of dollars for local communities. Do they even get that? The local community, do they even taste,
Over the course of 30 years. Market rate estimates suggest that somewhere between 19 and 43 million euros worth of credits have already been sold. For a place as economically marginal as Kenya's remote north, that is some serious money.
It's always monetary. It's not about carbon offsets or storage. This is the answer by the end of this conversation.
Very little of it is actually getting to the communities. According to project documents, up to 30% of this revenue is siphoned off right at the start, by a US-based for-profit company called Native in the form of marketing fees. Verra, the US company who validated, reviewed, and later re-verified the offsets, also takes a cut. After that, consultancy fees for soil
Can you
scientists.
see where he's going to? Like all this? You're gonna start from here.
Hundreds of millions of dollars in revenues over the course of 30 years. Market rate estimates
Like, you may
suggest
think like the amount, like the 50 million tons of CO2 over 30 years, like that's lots of money, but just actually follow the money right now.
that somewhere between 19 and 43 million euros worth of credits have already been sold. For a place as economically marginal as Kenya's remote north, that is some serious money. But
That's some serious money. But wait, do you actually follow where the big money is?
little of it is actually getting
Where
to
the really serious, literally serious money is.
the communities.
From carbon offsets and carbon storage.
According to project documents, up to 30% of this revenue is siphoned off right at the start by a US-based for-profit company called Native in the form of marketing fees. Verra, the US company who validated, reviewed, and later re-verified the offsets, also takes a cut. After that, consultancy fees for soil scientists and a 5% cut for Kenya's county governments. From here, the remaining funds go to the NRT itself.
Absolutely.
Which retains 40% for what it calls operations costs, like hiring guards, building fences, or managing megafauna wildlife for upmarket tourists. What's left is divided equally among the 14 participating conservancies to spend on community works like schools, sanitation facilities, or food in times of drought. But here's the kicker.
Come on, it's such a pity for the kind of leaders we do have. Such a pity, honestly.
From this meager portion, not a penny of carbon revenues is distributed directly to individual
Absolutely.
herders, households, or settlements. Instead, it is retained in a common fund that conservancies must submit bids to fund specific projects. The only contract governing this revenue sharing structure was signed in 2021, years after many offsets had already been sold. It gives enormous discretion to the NRT to award funds to conservancies based on their standing with the organization. What's more, conservancies are forbidden to discuss these terms publicly.
All towns there. I want to read that a little bit.
What's more, conservancies are forbidden to discuss
all other towns thereof are other information provided by the parties to each other, here under or in connection herewith, including price and payment terms, are confidential, and neither party may disclose such confidential information to anyone other than one, any of such parties' directors, officers, and employees, and directors, officers, and employees of affiliated companies and representatives thereof, or their advisors who need to know such information.
These terms publicly. Critics say this strips communities of their financial autonomy and puts control over the money earned from the sale of their resources in the hands of third parties. But one thing is for certain. The global trade in carbon offsets is not going away anytime soon.
Absolutely.
UN member states at COP29 recently agreed to form a new global marketplace for carbon credits. And in Kenya, a legislative bill regulating the sale and export of carbon offsets is currently
their headquarters is in Nairobi, so guys,
making its way through Parliament. So what's the right way to do these carbon credit deals? For many, it's about getting rid of the middlemen and putting profits in the hands of the people who own the resources.
They should treat us, we are an equal, partnership. But at the moment, whatever they are giving us, as if it is a favor. But no.
Don't even accept all this, actually. Just take back your land. That's the way to do it, like 100%.
We are the owners of the land.
My message to the big investors, when they want to get carbon credit, let them go to the community and see through the national government and the countries. So they should go to the community themselves, benefit the community directly, than going through NRT and others.
This community should be given the first priority. We are not opposing, but the style of the approach and the way they came to this community is completely wrong.
Carbon creditors, they should come back to the community, not with the brokers. Time for the brokers have now gone.
What do you think about
it
this?
also shows you how still Africa is still, impoverished, not because of anything to do with resources and minerals, because it has very, very selfish individuals actually not conscious at all in regards to, you know what, this is supposed to go to this type of development, whatever money that is coming in. And that's why in your county, the roads are not still constructed. It looks like, what's really happening right now.
Do you have any carbon offset projects near you? Let us know in the comments.
Absolutely, we will. But next to that, the conversation, as we're almost winding up, we do have a conversation. The ones who are joining us right now, how are you doing? Good morning, good afternoon. It's your girl, Iriton Lungoria, and let's talk with Iriton. We were talking about what is carbon storage and how it's actually affecting a lot of individuals in some parts of Kenya, in the northeastern parts of Kenya, where they're actually choosing this forest because a lot of people are not actually educated more about carbon storage or offset. So we're talking about how it has been and how people have been protesting and how the government and other companies actually have been a part of this. But right now, as we're almost winding up in update, we do have a conversation about how Black communities are being destroyed from the inside. Let's take a listen.
So you spoke about why don't we have like stronger Black communities that are strictly built by Black people and run by Black people, but you also mentioned how when you tried to get your school renovated by Black businesses, they scammed you.
Yes.
So do you think that's why we don't have that sense of community, because Black people don't trust other Black people because they know the route it's going to end up going?
It's a big part of the problem. Because, great question. It's a big part of the problem, Queen, because when I look at what we've been through with FDMG, I cannot help but say to myself, if Black
pause that for a second. The sad fact that Dr. Umar is a good speaker, but he's a con man, and that's sad. I think the brother's intelligent. Sadly enough, he's a con man. He's a phony. That brings and that sadness. Can't believe it was almost 10 years ago. I had to teach another lady that worked for me who was arguing on his behalf. That's almost 10 years ago. And at that time, he was running a 10-year grip, and she was, arguing me up and down, was actually screaming at me, doing one of the shows. Keith, give him a chance, blah, but just screaming, howling. I said, it didn't make me feel good to tell you that he's a con man. He's a phony. It didn't make me feel good. But let him speak, Iriton. I just want to interject this, that he's a phony. And that's a sad fact. Our people are always, something's wrong with us as African people. We don't ever research things. That's why I think that's how we got easily with all these fake religions. Shout out to a lot of Africans like this fake Allah, this fake Jesus nonsense. We never, well, that's not fair too to us as African people. We were forced with these religions. But you think now you would have researched them and know the lies. But Dr. Umar is dangerous because he's a good speaker, and people get caught up. He's just like Tariq Nasheed, and they've been arguing back and forth now. That he's had this school, he's been peddling for 20 years now. And it was 8 years ago that he finally open it, because people are like, listen, this is a scam. You've been trying to do it for 11 years. There's no school. So now he's got to open. Now he's bought this property for 8 years. He has done nothing to it. Everything's a donation hustle. And so it's just sad. Go ahead, Iriton.
$1 billion. You know what my next biggest concern is going to be? What contractors can we find that's going to do this job, not take this money and run, and have us looking after them with a gun? You follow what I'm saying? And do it in the timeline they promised to do it. That's the other problem. They'll start the job, and now you got to chase them down for the next 6 months. They come back.
They see how this nonsense is. He supposedly bought this. They gave this dude over $1.5 million. It's gonna cost more than that to keep a school going, of course. But he's never opened it, never done nothing to it. Just kept asking for donations. So now people again hip to the scam. The scam is coming to an end again because he bought the school back in 2000. I want to say 2018, not 2000, and so it's almost been 8 years now. Nothing's been done. He's got donations, he has donations, nothing's been done. So now the scammers, people are now tired of his ass again. It's been 8 years you've had this building, you've done nothing with it.
But it's completed right now.
No, it's always been, see, like I said, Ayrton is just always so damn naive. The naiveness is not,
I want completed right now. You can say that it says his code is it's completed.
It's always been completed. Every time he just bought the building, it's not complete. It's garbage up in there. He's never fixed anything. It's two abandoned shacks. I'm gonna show you that.
I'm naive to say that it was announced in mid-February.
You're naive because you said you said they're built. They're not built every time. So you just say you like all Christians and goddamn religious people. You guys just lie. You just say you just say, oh, it's built. It's not built every time. The buildings were already there.
Saying is for the research I've done. You can't start calling me names because I've read somewhere that Dr. Umar's school has been completed. It was completed in mid-February. I'm not in the States. I'm just reading what it says in the internet.
Well, you can research. You don't have to be in the States to research stuff here.
Yeah, sure, I'm saying. I'm researching. So you're saying that I'm naive. I'm like, if you ask anybody, even General Mosquito said the same thing the other day. I was like, did you know Dr. Umar's school has been completed? Yeah. So what's wrong with that?
Because that's what I'm saying. That's why you're dangerous every time. Like, this is not calling you names. This is telling you to be more vigilant. This is not. See, you Africans are always too sensitive. It's not calling your names every time. Okay, now I want you to do this. I want you. Listen.
The way you're coming at me, so I'm also trying to.
These are not names every time. Stop being so sensitive.
Not sensitive. I'm just trying to make you understand that I'm not naive. I'm just reporting what I've actually researched.
So, okay, so you're saying the school is done, Ayrton. Would you want to put? Would you want to bet your paycheck on that?
I'm saying that's what I've read and I've researched. And it says the school has been completed.
Okay, it says the school's been completed. And okay, what do we call?
To actually, okay, let me educate you more instead of saying you are naive. It's like, okay, I'm just reporting what I've read and researched.
So you think the place is open every time? You think the place is fully built? Let him talk. I'm gonna show you that it's not. But go ahead, let him talk. Go ahead.
Sure, we do. Problem is, we got to find them. And in my situation, every contractor we used came highly regarded. We didn't pull people off the street. These were people sent us to, and we got scammed. You know what I mean? So we have to make sure we are really vetting who we get to do these jobs, because I'm just renovating a small school. I could only imagine if we're trying
to renovating a small school. He's actually still renovating it for the last 9 years. He's still renovating it. Exactly. I'm just renovating. He's never renovated nothing. The place is garbage. It's garbage. And I'm gonna show Ayrton it's garbage. So go ahead.
So we're going to really do some vetting. And we'll probably have to make it public. In other words,
see, he's trying to blame the contractors. Listen, this is America. I can get work done in Kenya and it gets done. He can't get work done in America, which is an advanced country. He can't get work done in America, which is an advanced country. Somebody I'm at the vet some contractors. How can I get shit done in Kenya? He can't get shit. He can't get shit done. Go ahead, Ayrton. I'm sure Ayrton's not done.
Right away now, Jerome Mosquito, how are you doing? We're actually winding up with this in a second.
Whoever we get that job to, they have to come before the community first. The whole community knows what you look like. The whole community knows where you live. You see what I'm saying? So if you even think you're going to play us with these bucks, something will happen to you. Literally, you're going to have to put some fear in them, because unfortunately, black people don't have a problem scamming other black people. And some of the contractors we have.
Yeah, his ass. That's why he broke his ass. His scamming ass.
Contractors has been the ones we worked with, right? Because I'm not going to generalize. This is what happens. Let's say I'm an electrician, right? You need me to do something on your house. She need me to do something on her house. She need me to do something on her business.
And sadly, sorry to all you people that are like Airtime that you guys are mad because you kept giving him money and you now know he's a con man. I told you years ago he's a con man. So you can't get mad now that he's been conning your money.
3 months. But guess what? I'm in love with that deposit money. So
As
guess
we're
what I'm
actually
doing?
almost winding up, I agree with you.
Hold on. Do this before you wrap up Airtime. Do this. Say, do this Airtime. I know you can hear me. Do this Airtime before you wrap up. Say Dr. Umar's school is a scam. So we're gonna see the common folks who went up there to see the school, who paid him money, and they ain't got nothing back. Say Dr. Umar's school is a scam. And it's sad enough that I gave this brother so many years before I went on his scamming ass. Well, yeah, so just do any video. Do the first one. They'll tell you. You got Leonard Arnold's been doing shows on his ass every damn week almost. That Leonard Arnold is crazy. I said, damn, don't do a story. Is that Leonard Arnold right there? He been
smartest scam I've ever seen. He's a controversial figure in the black community, often bashing Obama, LeBron, and even Oprah.
Barack Obama was a flunky. He was a functionary. He was a
But that's true.
He was a puppet, and yes, he was a cool.
But he knows all that. We know Barack Obama was a coon and a flunky. So that's how you get your string hearts. That's how a scammer does. He's gonna tell you the obvious. We know Obama was no good. We already know that. Go ahead, Eric.
Dr. Umar, and I actually do not agree with some things. I've done really, really good research on Dr. Umar, 100%. So the fact that I'm sharing it doesn't mean that I do not know who is he or who is not.
Absolutely nothing to benefit African people.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Airtime?
For the white school, put it in their hands.
And he defends Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby, the most significant black male actor and comedian of all time. When all the crusty snow bunnies came out against him a couple years ago, you said nothing.
He's got 1 million followers on Instagram and over 200,000.
Of course, all the white women, of course, but they were sitting, okay, we get that. We know all the white people are going to lie. We know the snow bunny's going to lie.
With that. But thank you, the ones who've joined us right away. The conversation was literally about carbon storage, and also the video that I shared on Dr. Umar is talking about why Black communities are always destroying Black communities, and I was piecing that on how Africans actually do not support Africans. It's an ideology actually that was pasted on us.
It's deeper than that. That's superficial. Africans don't support other Africans because you're tribal. You practice tribalism. So that's superficial shit he's saying, which is based on nothing. You don't support each other because you practice tribalism against each other on the continent. It's a tribal problem, Airtime.
90. Mr. Jerome Mosquito is saying, I thought the school was applying for a certificate or license to open up, and then you return.
No, what license? No, he hasn't paid. No, they're about to put an auction. It's more on hasn't paid the taxes on the school. I don't know. I want Airtime to go to somebody black. She went to straight to somebody white. Go to somebody black who just showed this, who walked through. It's in shambles. And now he's out there talking because he can't get any money. Nobody's sending more. No one's gonna send him no more money because the grift. See, when you do a grift this long, and there's nothing to the grift, people finally. And sadly, like I said, most black people globally are fucking immature and stupid. They don't like to call black people, but they're naive. Okay, so now that the grift is drying up, he's got a new grift he's want to go into, like that FBA shit he's talking about. It's called free men or some nonsense. And everybody's clowning him on TikTok because they know he's a con man. It's crazy. No, what certificate? That he's had the school for 8 years now. Why is he opening it up? Because you go inside and it's garbage. That's why he wants you to go inside. Remember, it was boarded up. Do this Airtime real quick. Say Dr. Umar's school gets boarded up. Just type that. Say Dr. Umar's school gets boarded up. Because they kicked him out the school. He knows people not say gets boarded up. Because he wasn't paying on the school. So you go to his office, people, it's all boarded up. Here you go, you sure it's boarded up? Why you keep going to the small thing? Go down, let me see. Somebody walking through it. Yeah, go to that black guy there. He probably tell the truth. It's boarded up. What's he saying? He probably people that lost his money. Too bad for you.
I'm still a kinsman because I come through the blood of his first cousin.
Talking about him at all.
Yeah, he lost his money. Go ahead, what you saying?
With the least resources and education. He's got people packed in random stores off his social media hype alone.
You have a grandmother, a grandfather, somebody that was a strong warrior, a strong spirit.
Yeah, they steal all this money. Steal his money from these people. Go ahead.
He spread the guise of black empowerment, this fake polygamous wedding, and the six-figure scheme masquerading as a construction project for his school for black boys.
Exactly.
School for black boys.
I hate that we have to cover this man, but it needed to happen.
Reject the notion.
Yeah, I like this brother, right? He be talking about those scammers in the community. Now he's gonna break it down scientifically so you understand what he's saying.
Mariah Carey poster was on my wall. When y'all got, I said, how did they get Mariah? That's what everybody said.
Let me set the record straight out the gate. First, there's no way we can address everything this man has ever said. It would
I know.
We're focusing on the most crucial aspects of his public persona. Two, there's things about Dr. Umar that I will criticize and things I won't. We can fall victim to not knowing where to draw that line on commentary channels sometimes, reaching too far into personal attacks in an effort to stay popping on social media. All right, last ground rule, we'll be calling him Dr. Umar or Johnson moving forward, since he still has those handles attached to his official social media pages. This is confusing. Don't add me. Before I dive into what our research dug up, let's see what the man has to say for himself. I'm trying my best to be fair about this, but if I see something suspect, I'll call it out on the spot. Johnson calls himself a paternal kinsman to the great abolitionist Frederick Douglass.
He's not, that's a lie.
Frederick Douglass, nor do I have to be. I'm a descendant of Frederick Douglass's first cousin, a gentleman by the name of Stephen Henry Bailey.
He's not.
Beautiful thing. I hate to do this to you, my guy, but I found this video of you early on in your career promoting a speaking engagement in New York. And in this video, you claim you're Douglass's grandnephew. So are you descended from his first cousin or are you his grandnephew?
None of them. He's doing that for clout.
Even when it's a pro and a con, they're both conning us.
Because he knows black people not going to check what he says.
Douglass's family has very clearly shut this down.
Didn't know.
Johnson has he wasn't.
The family said, please stop using our great ancestors for your scams. Knock it off. But he hasn't. Go ahead.
I am a blood relative of Frederick Douglass. We have a family reunion every 2 years. I have more videos around the world more than the other scholars.
He was a psychopath.
I was a descendant. I've only claimed one thing, kinsman.
The delete button would fix this really quickly, I promise. Strike one. I didn't know who Bishop Wayman is, but after some basic research, it's not really possible to disprove that. He leads a college tour called Unapologetically African for 11 through 17-year-old black children. Calls himself the Prince of Pan-Africanism, as I mentioned before, in third person. Strike two. Anybody calling themselves a prince of anything in the third person is a
psychopath.
And follow this, because we're actually winding up because of time. But
yeah, I get it. Yeah, check this out. This brother's pretty thorough with people. I like that young man. He's thorough, he's honest, and he keeps everything on the most. He just does the research. You know, I never knew he did one on Dr. Umar. I'm gonna have to check I'm gonna have to check this out with every time it's showing. I never seen the brother do one on Dr. Umar. He usually goes after financial phonies in the black community, all these financial gurus that don't know what the hell they're talking about. And black people just so easily gullible. You just listen to nonsense, just like the religion. You'll just listen to that shit. You won't ever go back and research to see if it's real. So I gotta go check with Airtime and Shawnee. I never seen him do Dr. Umar. This brother's pretty thorough. He usually goes after the financial charlatans, all the con men we got talking about this financial investing. This I became a millionaire. They became a millionaire by them getting donations from you because you're stupid. So I'm about to check out this one, the Airtime show, because this brother's pretty good at his research. I'm about to check this out that Airtime pulled out.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Because every time there's a video about somebody, you know they dirty. Go ahead.
Good one. Thank you for joining me. Let's start with we're talking about what is Kabon Surge and how Black communities are not always supporting Black communities or African Americans or Africans not being united. And my perspective is from the inferiority complex and basically everything there is.
Airtime doesn't know what that means. Your mosquito.
RadioNetwork.com for amazing healthy supplements. Abra clothing, the Blackwood Fire Radio logo on it. Have a great weekend. Remember,
all right, Airtime. Listen, your mosquito. Airtime doesn't know what that means. Airtime, we call him Baba Tunde. Airtime doesn't know these. Airtime's not out in these streets the way we know Baba Tunde means. Airtime doesn't know what we need when we say that. That's to ring the sheet. That's to ring the sheet, you know, mosquito. You guys said the Joby, not Airtime. Oh, let me see.
I've been doing me, you should try to do you. I'ma get her wet as a pool. Buzz down Tatiana like you drop batter. I got enough sauce for two. When I told her, tell a friend, I meant tell her she cute. I'ma pull her with the juice and it ain't coming to fruit. I got a meeting with your boss and I ain't coming to suit. I'ma pull her with my G's like, give me the loot. Never another bad man this cute. You can find me with the who's who. You was cool, but you turned into a used to. Then we felt like a loose tooth. I got a red bone that I let it go. Soon as I get home, I'm in the pussy like Sue.
You are now listening to the best music.